AskReddit by for Tim McDaddy. What happened to the bully in your class? Went to college, got into drugs, lost his scholarship and got kicked out. Last I saw he's working construction and is making duck faces on his profile pic on Facebook. This reads like poetry. Deleted. She did an insane amount of growing up during college, including having to uproot her whole life to care for her family after her mom died suddenly. She reached out to me and others I know personally and directly addressed the bullying. We went out to lunch, she bought, and she was incredibly honest, apologizing and acknowledging what she did and why it was wrong. She's now running a successful animal rescue organization with her long-term boyfriend and I wish her nothing but happiness. Love a story with a happy ending. Hey, drove drunk, got in a wreck, and is now paralyzed from the waist down. He is still a bully, but now he's an online bully. The accident seems to have made him feel even more justified in being a prick. Send a video of you running up and down the stairs if he trash talks you. One is long dead from a drug deal gone bad. Another is a big-bellied deputy sheriff who was kicked off the force after decades of questionable behavior. Another guy commented that his bully beat a guy to death in a drug deal gone bad. Is this the other half? In jail for strangling his girlfriend. Thankfully she survived. Those who strangle a partner are significantly more likely to murder them compared to other domestic abusers. The boy bully married the girl bully, they had a kid then divorced. Shocking. Mine too. Except for the divorce part. I hope mine raise their kid to be nicer to weirdos than they ever were. He is in Leavenworth serving a life sentence for murder. No one was surprised when they found this out. I am going to be honest, I am a bit disturbed by how many bullies apparently went on to murder someone. Same thing for my middle school bully, currently in jail for a murder at a drug deal gone wrong. He was the driver but still caught the murder charge. Was a crazy thing. I saw an article about how someone my exact age from my hometown was arrested for murder and made a joke about how I probably knew them. Was my middle school bully. He was killed shortly after being released from prison. He apparently had a beef with someone and went to their house with a gun, kicked in their front door, and was immediately shot and killed. Wow, that's rather wild. He died the summer after graduating high school. Mixed too many drugs and alcohol at a party. Very sad for his younger brother who was a great person despite his brother. Yeah, I'm pals with my old bully's sister. She's a very nice person. It sucks her brother died. Even if he was a dick. I kid you not, we had a 5-foot-tall bully in our school. He gained favor with some of the bigger bullies, and I suppose that afforded him carte blanche to act like them. Anyways, a few short years after HS, he fucked with the wrong dude at a party and they followed him home and shot him dead on his mom's front lawn. Not to the same extent, but there was someone like that at my school. Short little dude who got a big man complex cause of the bigger bullies he rolled with. At an after grad party he got jumped and someone took a metal rod and branded his leg after they dipped the rod in the fire. Post that incident he works for a non-profit for kids in abusive home lives. Makes me wonder what he had going on behind the scenes. The kid who used to beat me up every day in 3rd grade I heard crashed a motorcycle and lost both his testicles. So he's got that going for him, which is not nice. You should approach him and say mine are real. Just kidding. He now owns his father's huge, massively lucrative construction company. Which is exactly what he said he was going to do and also let us know how much richer he was going to be than us. So yeah, it sucks BC it came true. Well, there's still time for him to develop a crippling cocaine addiction or something, so take heart in that. I saw him rush the field at an NFL game and get arrested. Good times. This is the first one that made me laugh lol. My bully from elementary school through high school served prison time for embezzlement. Prison for killing people by lighting a diner on fire. Will you elaborate? This is not something you read every day. Opened a really stupid store in an overpriced mall in the 90s. Lost a crap ton of cash and killed himself. Liftorium? For whatever fucking reason, he asked me out a few years after graduation. He bullied me. Had this happen to a friend. She ran into our mutual bully at a party in college. He was hitting on her and she was ignoring him. She finally told him to fuck off using his name. Apparently he was shocked to realize she knew him. She apparently asked him why he thought she'd ever be interested in hooking up with someone who bullied her so much back in grade school. Apparently his response was something like, "Wow. I was such an asshole back then." They murdered someone and are now in prison. Haha, same. However, a year after graduation my friends and I were leaving a restaurant and we saw him horribly attempting to break into a car. We were like Robino and he called us pussies and walked off. After the 20th reunion, heard he moved to Dallas, met an attorney, killed him and horribly tried to cover up the murder but was caught that day. Dumbus. She became an influencer and have tons of followers because people think she is really funny because of how stupid she is. She kinda have a Paris Hilton persona going on. Very spoiled rich girl pretending to be stupid and know nothing about the world. It's entirely not surprising to me that HS bullies can be good as influencers. They live for their crowd's validation and now with the internet they can have much more than their local crowds. Her father got sued and they lost everything. House, cars, drained their money, all of it. Last I heard she was living in a rundown apartment and working at a small gas station. Do you know why he got sued? I was only ever bullied in elementary school in Texas. I moved to Ohio during 5th grade. At some point in late middle school or early high school I heard the guy who used to bully me got mad at his parents because they wouldn't let him go to a concert, so he took his dad's shotgun and killed himself. Holy disproportionate overreaction, Batman. He's now some sort of spiritual guru. My middle school bully from my class got hit by a car and didn't go to school for a whole year. Then he skipped school for the next year, literally the entire year. Then he finally got expelled and I never saw him or heard anything about him. I was bullied so bad by a kid in middle school I switched to a school in the next town over. Ran into him in high school at the IMCA. I had hit puberty by then and was way bigger than him at this point. I asked to guard him and I played as dirty as I could. Knee to the chest when he tried to block my layup. Elbows flying everywhere at all times. Bone crunching picks. Never said a word to him. Just beat him up as much as I thought I could get away with while generally staying within the rules. I know it was petty AF, but it was cathartic. Never saw him at the Y again. He's on Facebook constantly crying about how unfair life has been to him. He also said he won't go to our 10-year HS reunion because he was bullied by the assholes that are now organizing the reunion. When I commented and reminded him how he bullied me, he just said at least I didn't make you suicidal like they made me. Completely delusional. I feel bad for him. That sounds so messy. Full ride scholarship through football to a D1 college. Scouted by an NFL team in high school. Just had to make it 4 years in college. Sexually assaulted a girl at the college. Went on the run. Had several warrants. Got into an argument back in hometown that led to firearm discharge. And now he's in prison. Holy shit. Dude just throw away a one lottery ticket. He's selling mobility scooters and supporting his stepchildren. He was abused at home, and I was an easy target. Back then I fantasized about murdering him, now I appreciate that he was crying out for help. I'm never going to be best friends with him, but I'd shake his hand and wish him well any day. He became the CEO of the company he started in after college. He is the chairman of the local football team and runs the beach cleanup crew every month. Always has a smile and has clearly just kept on growing up. Wasn't necessarily my bully, but this kid at my school terrorized everyone. He was an absolute shitbag. Hadn't heard anything about him for years until I flicked on a Guy Ritchie film recently and he was in it. Turns out he's now gone on to become a semi-successful actor. I actually hold no resentment because the kid was pretty fucked up. His mum was dead and his father was an abusive alcoholic. So fair play to him for breaking the mold. I saw him walking in front of my family's house, certain he was passing by, while I was playing with my daughter and her cousins. He gave me a little wave and I thought I'd just wave back to be nice. He messaged me later on Facebook and said he's glad I'm doing better than him. Long story short, he told me his ex-wife and him are having a serious custody battle with their kid and recently got a DUI which got him in a deeper hole. He basically said don't end up like him. As much as I hope he gets better, karma really is a bitch. He was probably never doing well in the first place. Local politician. That's sort of fitting. No idea. I left town and never looked back. Same. I'd like to believe that he grew up and fixed his life, but odds are the victor is in jail by now. Deleted. Which restaurant? My bully and his buddy drowned, and it made me sad. I am a foreigner and didn't speak much English and couldn't defend myself much, so I just took it. This was in the late 90s and I've moved on, but he didn't get to. Got in an argument over a parking spot and got himself stabbed to death. Many years after graduation, I found out that he became a local cop in the town we grew up. It was the least surprising thing to everybody. WTF, mine became a cop, too. He became a Disney Channel star, started a YouTube channel with creators, exploded, now he's in boxing. Any chance that he was very obnoxious with his brother in high school? I do fine now. Was a stupid kid that did a stupid things to a boy who didn't ask for it. We ended up being friends after he had the courage to call me out. I got suspended, and both our mothers agreed to meet and to force us to spend time together, to know each other. I never was more grateful to someone than those two women. My mom obviously, but also his mom. She was a tall and fat lady, seemed really cold and severe at first glance, understandable as I had beaten up her son, but ended up being like a second mother to me. She showed me that even trashy humans like me can become better if given a second chance in the right conditions. And that lesson will stick with me forever. Agnes, I miss you. I don't really have much to add, but damn, in this pit of sorrow that is this thread, I am thankful for your story. He dead. Edit for visibility. My bully died of an overdose. Don't be a bully, get help in your area. If you go somewhere and they don't seem helpful, find another organization. Or walk into an emergency department and ask for help. There are good people out there working towards pro-social means. Don't give up. SAMHSA Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, nationwide. 1-800-66 to help, 4357. Mine too. He got stabbed after a street race. He was right out of high school. Actually, I think he's been dead longer now than he was alive. He became good and now we are not beefing. Coasts on daddy's cash and is one of many not too rich but still rich douches revving a generic 2013 BMW M320 on all IG stories. Became the president of a small Christian college. I work in Christian higher ed and this is altogether unsurprising. The worst one I've ever met in my life never exactly had his own comeuppance. His father was wealthy from being the assistant harbor master in one of the largest fishing communities in the country, so he never exactly had to work. From what I've heard, he lives off his family's wealth while being a hobbyist photographer. His parents did get divorced and his drug-addicted mother passed away. Another little monster who was a year older than me died at 21 when he fell off a 200-foot cliff while hunting with his girlfriend's family. This kid who tormented me non-stop at Boy Scout camp enlisted in the army, was injured and is now partially paralyzed, living a secluded lifestyle under his family's watch. The Boy Scout bully's close friend who was very antagonistic was busted 4 years ago during an FBI dark web sting operation for trafficking drugs. He's awaiting sentencing. He ended up being my direct manager at a serving job, and TBH he was one of the best managers I've ever had. Edit, we're 1.8k in 4 hours. Normally I have to write some truly horrifying shit to get that kind of traction. Finally a post-high school bully in this comment section who didn't die or kill someone or commit any other crimes. I just looked him up. He makes YouTube videos for work in the vein of Andrew Tate. He has 212 subscribers and lives in his mom's house. Recognized it from the vids. Comment on the video. Be like, bro, I've been to your house back in the day. You're still living with your mom. Dead. He abused his girlfriend one time too many. She emptied a clip. Rich kid. Runs the family business now. Happily married with a kid : but, hey, maybe he atoned and changed? Deleted. My elementary school bully, in S career for context, continued being the bully till high school. Somehow he ambushed and beaten the untouchable student while he was alone. It turned that untouchable student was Korean mafia son. Bunch of black cars park up at his apartment. Burly guys armed with metal pipes and bats would constantly waltz around the neighborhood and make the bully's family life hell. Apartment neighbors got fed up being terrified with the mafia at their neighborhood. Cops will not show up until the mafia dispersed, to the point they pressured the bully's family to move out at once. Never heard what happened after they moved. Not entirely sure why the bully did that, maybe due to his pride? Maybe a proof he is the jjang, old Korean term for a student who is the toughest and strongest brawler, who'd constantly challenge or be challenged by other classes and or other schools. This sounds like a webtoon. Got shipped off to Baghdad in the early 2000s and never came back. Lives on a farm alone. Sounds relaxing.